Yeah, looks like I'm back up here again today. Different name, different topic, sort of a different topic. Sort of something I haven't talked about before that I'm going to talk about. And then there's a little something I have mentioned and talked about a little bit briefly. So, MGTOW versus WGTOW. I have talked about briefly. And the other part, well, I haven't exactly talked about. And I think it needs to be talked about. Okay, so that's where I'm going. But I'll hold off a minute here. See if we get anybody that comes in here. And then I'm going to go. Okay, so anyhow, you see the name I've given this particular live stream. And I gave it a good name for good reason. The first thing, men going their own way, women going their own way. I figured I should talk about that a little bit. I've brought it up in the past. And then the last part is going to be the TFL and Inside guys versus the very drug that Blue Skies Media is proclaiming to be taking, which is a big pharma drug, which the drug, one of the founders of the drug is linked to Yale. And anybody that's even remotely awake understands that Yale, Harvard is all linked and run by big entities at the top. Okay, and we know big pharma is not good for you, and the particular drug that he's taken we'll talk about here in a few minutes. You can take the name and you can Google it. Yes, I see somebody's already made the comment here. Yes, and that's one of the reasons you see the name on this live stream, because I was going to talk about that a little bit. So I appreciate you bringing that up. Okay, because this is where we're going to be going here in a little bit. But first, let's do a brief on the reality of MGTOW and WGTOW. Okay, I think that's actually important to be said because it is true. Dave works up in Boston in public transportation. Dave is a TFLer and has been a TFLer his whole life. He works full time, been on this job for lots of years, getting ready to retire with a pension. And I'll tell you what, he's out in the public dealing with them every day. He sees and knows what's going on just as well as I do, and I see it myself. We have 30, 40 years of male bashing, feminist movement, male slamming, and the media. And people have been conditioned. We've been over sexualized. Pornography's become all over the place. Everybody's been over sexualized. Everything's been flipped upside down on its head, as I've said before, and twisted inside out. So nobody knows what they're doing. But the results of this is now to a point where women are actually starting to dislike men. This is no lie. This is fact. And because it's starting to happen and it's going to grow just like TFL did, and you're going to have more women disliking men, not wanting to do anything to do with men. And believe me, women are a whole lot stronger. They're able to live their life without a man. They want a piece of ass. They don't got to do nothing for it. They can get it just like that. Okay. So women don't really need men. And our society has geared it to a point now where when Steve Holcomb made the statement that women love women, men love women, and women hate men and men hate men, that was a very factual statement. And it's not only just so factual, but the fact is this. You're coming into a time and era where you're going to watch women and more women walk away from men. And the difference between MGTOW and WGTOW is the fact that the majority, and I'm not saying all, but the majority of MGTOW is TFLers in denial. And the other percentage is ego driven, phony baloney fakes. Where with WGTOW, won't be filled with fakes, won't be filled with ego driven. It'll be real. Sure will. It'll be concretely real. And of course, the more this grows, which it's going to, the more men that are not going to have options, the more TFL is going to grow and INCEL is going to grow. That's the reason I wanted to bring that up, because that's your future. That's what you have to look forward to. As you have social engineering, thanks to NWO and Hollywood and mainstream media to blame for this. We've got 30 plus, if not 40 years of male shaming and a feminist movement and male bashing and male bashing and male bashing to thank for the social engineering, because it gives the mindset of the people in today's generation, and it gives the mindset of the children coming up. And with women now starting to walk away from men, this is only going to continue to grow, because women are actually disgusted with men, fed up with men, just as men aren't disgusted and fed up with women. But the women are serious and the men ain't, because the men are over sexualized like the women are. The women, if they want sex, can get it anytime they want, well, the men can't. So there's a big difference there. Now, let's jump on to Mr. Blue Skies Media and the very drug that he talked about taking, that he talked about openly, telling you that, oh, it puts him in another dimension. Oh, once he's on enough of it, he just becomes, oh, he just lays there like a zombie and he's in another dimension, and the music and the sounds and everything is so peaceful. That's right. And it's the best world he's ever been in, and if he could just stay there, and every time he comes back to reality, you heard him saying this. Yes, you clearly heard him talking about this. So he's promoting a drug which isn't going to help incels or TFLers at all. Okay, that's going to get people arrested and thrown behind bars for having. Okay, and that very well may well kill you. And it's a drug when you look. I mean, I did a little bit of looking today on this before I done this live stream. Okay, and just on a couple clips here, I can tell you this right now. Okay, the drug itself has been used on animals. Okay, and then we got right here. Let me get to where again. John Christow, MD, chief psychologist at Yale. Catch that, at Yale Medicine. Okay, says this drug is a game changer. Do you like the wording game? Yeah. So here we got Yale directly, okay, linked to this drug, and Big Pharma, of course. And they're saying it's a game changer for people with deep depression. Now, I want you to think about that a moment. We are listening to this young man tell you about a drug that puts him in another world, another dimension, not in reality, and takes all of his stress and hides it for the time he's on it. Okay. Who's also talking suicidal in his last video. Okay. I can understand the depression, but really what he's doing is he's promoting a drug onto the manosphere. A drug that's been made by Big Pharma that's been pushed now through psychologists in Yale. And I'm telling you what, anybody that gets into Yale or anybody that gets into Harvard, these are two major elite colleges that people don't just get into. And these are elite colleges. These are your echelon at the top, okay? And of course, you're going to have big pharma involvement because this is the type of medicine this is. And it's man made. And any kind of drug that's man made is worse than anything that's natural. It'd put marijuana to shame. Matter of fact, this drug will probably even put alcohol to shame. No saying what kind of damage it's going to do to your body or your mind in the long run from use. And I'm sure there'll be a point where a person could take too much and OD from it. But this is what we hear in his videos recently, between yesterday and today from Blue Skies Media. He's basically promoting this drug. He really is. And he's promoting it in a light that for men going through TFL and INCEL, it already does damage to his people. Being isolated and pushed out and denied what every person naturally wants is already hard enough on people. It depresses the hell out of men. It destroys their lives. You wind up with mental issues. You wind up with physical issues, medical that can become from the mental. You could eventually wind up with a stroke or a heart attack. Okay, I mean, it's very, very depressing. And yes, there's lots of guys that have become suicidal over this without the drug. That's right, without the drug he's talking about. And it wasn't that long ago we had a guy set himself on fire who was a TFLer. See, so we've had some suicides over how we treat each other in today's society. How we deliberately have to always play a game. How we don't have no care left. And Blue Skies Media said a lot of valuable stuff that's absolutely true. That's why I did the reply on my last video towards him again. Because he did say stuff that was absolutely true. There wasn't lies, that was complete truth. And I wanted to point that out. But I also wanted to point out this drug. That's the reason I decided to do the live stream. And I also wanted to point out his words was he don't know how much longer he'll be here. Okay. He's throwing hints at you. He's now throwing hints that he's possibly suicidal. Or, I gave theories like I did earlier in the video that we have the possibility that this guy was an actor. This guy is working with blah, blah, blah. And this is all an act. And if that's the case, he's a really good actor. Except for they've left the common denominator out. A person who's really suffering from, in most cases, when a group of people come along, they're actually suffering from the same thing they're suffering from and try to associate with them, they're going to answer back. They're going to meet like-minded minded people that they can actually finally have somebody to vent to talk to, that'll understand them. And this is what Blue Skies Media does not represent. But like I said in the video, he could be a weird cookie, a strange cookie. Or he could just be all drugged out, couldn't he? Of course, he claims he don't drink and party like with the rest, but yet there he is promoting this drug. No, there is not a call from there every time I'm on a live stream. Okay, so this is the thing. So I look at it for what it really is. I don't agree with him promoting this drug. I don't think it's a good thing. You're going to have some TFLers and INCEL guys that are going to hear this and think, yeah, and there's nothing we're going to be able to do about that. And if they get their hands on it, I mean, I suppose they could go to a doctor and they could, talk to a shrink because it is coming down through Harvard and you might be able to get a prescription for it so you're not holding an illegal drug. Okay. But the long effects of pharmaceutical medications isn't good for anybody. But he hasn't been following from a doctor because he's talked about getting loaded on this stuff and going into another dimension and just laying there in another dimension. And he talked about the sounds and how peaceful it was and how this and that it is. And so what he's doing is he's basically promoting the drug by saying that. Because you got men that are under a lot of stress from being isolated and pushed out of society against their want through forced loneliness. That's right. Against their will or their want. And they're under a lot of stress. They really are. They're mentally depressed. They're depressed. They're just under a lot of stress. And, and he's right about the looks and the social structure of our society and what we've done. Everything he said is correct in that area. That is what it is to be successful in society as a man. If you're successful as a man in society, he's right about what he talked about. That's what we're weighing success on. What he talked about. And looks is playing a major part, and that part just makes me sick. Because nobody keeps their damn looks. Looks is a cover. There's lots of covers that hide evil, evil, evil intentions. But yeah, here we are in a society that's filled full of just that evil. Underhanded, low mind, selfishness, and evil. And using something as trivial as a cover and success as far as a man-made thing, monetary gain, something you know, even the filthy rich people become depressed because they got all the money they'll ever need. They never struggle for anything and they're not happy. It's a whole lot of filthy rich people that are very depressed and very unhappy because you cannot buy happiness. I don't care how much money you got, you're not going to buy happiness. You can buy fakes, but then fakes nowadays are a penny a dozen, ain't they? Because we have that many people that are fake. The mask. I just done live stream and talked about the mask. And even the girl that he talked about that he blaming himself for fucking it up. I don't agree. Because if the girl really liked him, let's just say he was talking for real. If the woman that he's talking about, the girl he's talking about, that he's blaming himself for fucking it up, really liked him, she's a human like he is, and everybody makes mistakes. And if she really liked him, she wouldn't have dumped him and never gave him another chance. She has 100 chances for every, and depending on her looks, she could have thousands of options compared to his 0 options. And it's that easy for her to, from one to another. And that is what women do. Because they have these kinds of choices. That's why you hear me use women treat men like a hamburger. And as soon as they've taken your wrapping off you, had you a few times and used you up, they crumble the wrapper up, which is you, and throw you away. And they go to their next fast food burger, a man. That's right. See, I give you the analogy there of men and fast food and women eating on fast food and throwing the wrapper away because the man is that burger that's being used. We unwrapped them, the inside. We ate you up, used you up, destroyed you from the inside, crumbled you up, and threw you away. This is what happens in today's society, and guess what? Men promote it. They go along with the behavior. And the guy who says anything about it, oh, well, you're a woman hater. You're a misogynist. How dare you speak up about this? That's right. See, this is why WGTOW versus MGTOW, WGTOW won and you men lost. You couldn't win if you tried. Because men in society are normies and simps and vaginas. They're not men. They're wannabe men. They wish they was a man. Oh, they claim they're a man by their plumbing between their legs. That don't make them a man. They really don't. They've been so feminized, so weak against a woman, that they will let the woman step on their face, walk all over them, kick them, comb them up, throw them away. And they just keep taking the abuse and taking the abuse and taking the abuse. And it's sick. It's disgusting. You know? And when he screamed in his video about the daughters being raped, I'm like this. I'm not saying there isn't women who get raped. By no means. But unfortunately, we have more false reports of rape than we actually have women being raped. Although that's going to change. Because if you keep a world over sexualized and everything twisted and manipulated and upside down, then the very culture the women have complained about they live in that they don't live in will become a reality. And with women starting to walk away from men, they're going to do it for real. And when they do it for real, that's going to cause the numbers of guys that are INCEL and TFL, the numbers are going to go up. You're not going to get around that. And one day you're so caught in vaginas and normies, they will find themselves in the same spot. We go to the truthers movement, and the truthers, the twoofers, they will not acknowledge this side of the manosphere. They will not acknowledge the manosphere. They'll be like Jerry. It's too personal. Well, I wonder how personal it's going to be when they find they can't get a woman no more themselves. When they start finding themselves in our shoes. Because a lot of the reasons they won't acknowledge this side is because they're so afraid of being in our shoes. It's like when Jerry told me, and it's funny because Jerry's not the only man that told me this, but it was so funny coming from Jerry, the guy who's supposed to be my friend, and told me, Bill, you can't talk about that. You're going to scare all the women away. Ah, so if I was to tell truth in that area, I'm going to scare all the corruption away, huh? Good. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I wouldn't want anything to do with them women anyhow. See, he didn't get that part. That was above his IQ. To say I'm going to scare all the women away. Well, so let it be then. Because the women that are running are the ones that are corrupt to begin with. The ones that know full well what they're doing to men to begin with. And you think I want anything to do with them women? No, I don't. See, but people like this are going to find themselves in our shoes. Because you could take it to the bank. Jay over in United Kingdom and Dave up in Boston both see it. Both see it. They're meeting more and more WGTOW. That's right. Women who don't want anything to do with men that are single and plan on staying single. Yeah. What did you think was going to happen with 30 to 40 years of male shaming in the feminist movement? When you've got 30 to 40 years, which we have, of nothing but male shaming in Hollywood in your media, all over your TV, and in your commercials and everything. And then you have the feminist movement, and then you got mainstream media, the news and stuff, and all the reports. What did you really think the outcome of that was going to be? And then you have an over sexualized world, and men are playing these roles that these pickup artists gave to them that furtherly angers women. And then you have pump and dump that furtherly angers women. Now, I'm not saying the women treated us right at all, but what I'm telling you is, what did you honestly think the results of all this crap was going to be? If I took all of these things and I really thought about it and sit down and dissected it, you know the results. The results are what you're now starting to see happen. WGTOW. The difference between men going their own way and women going their own way is the women are real. They're not fake. I know we got tons of fake women out here, right? But this is the point of their life where even the fake women are going to be real on this topic. That's right, they're going to become real and not be fraudulent. And when they say they're WGTOW, they're going to mean it. And them numbers are going to get bigger. And as the numbers of women doing this get bigger, which they're going to, it has no other option. That's right where it's going. This is what the entire NWO plan was to begin with. Divide and conquer, divide and conquer, divide and conquer. It's no accident that they've promoted sex and done what they've done. The mindset was to destroy, and that's exactly what it's done. See, so now you got these men claiming to be what they're not. They can't get women. They're TFLers, actually. And then, the forever alone phenomenon, I've told you and showed you that already, because the forever alone, they tried to, that gaming guy tried to make the statement that, well, forever alone's been here for ever and ever since the 1800s. No, it hasn't. Because when you go back to the 1800s and find the first time forever alone was brought up, it was a damn poem. It was wrote by a woman, and it was a story. It had nothing to do with being alone and being isolated and pushed out. And I think it was 2010 or 2011 when this guy come up and took what that gal did in the 1800s and used her stuff and gave it a brand new definition and reworded it, which means it is not what was in the 1800s. Because you cannot twist and manipulate something and have it still be truth. This is where people are out of their damn mind, because they think they can take the truth and manipulate it and flip it and add words to it and change it, and that it's still the same truth. No, it isn't. It's now propaganda. It's now a lie, or it's now totally something different. So the forever alone that's here today and the forever alone that was here in 1800s are clearly not one and the same. So the statement was that forever alone's been here longer than TFL. No, it hasn't. Never has and never will be. Because the forever alone he's talking about only started in 2010 or 11. And TFL's been here since like 2007. So try again, sucker. Okay, that's all I got to say to you on that one. Try again. The deception, one more time. There's the lies and deception. Lies and deception. Lies and deception. Everybody thinks it's a damn game. They think another human being's emotions and feelings is a game to be played with and can't figure out why bad things are happening to them. But the outcome is just what I just told you now. Because we have a situation where the outcome is got no other alternative. This is where it's going. And now that it's to the point that women are walking away from men, and for real, because they're as fed up with men because of the over sexualization, because of fraudulent MGTOW saying pump and dump, because of promoting, women done wrong unto us because of the programming, right? Then you turn around and do wrong unto them somehow because it's a game, it's a sport, it's an arena. We got to get even. We got to one up them. Rather than discussing the root cause and figuring out why our behaviors are what they are and correcting our behaviors, we play into it. Let's think about when in doubt. Was a very good talker, wasn't he? But I had a feeling the whole time he was fraudulent. But I wanted him to tell on himself. And then he did. Okay? Let's think about his Project Mayhem. Then let's look at some of the stuff he's promoted for Mayhem. What he's really promoting is just exactly that, mayhem. Making the problems worse. Not making anything better. He won't have to worry about that because now, thanks to you idiots going along with the programming, women are to a point now where they're walking away from you. And the difference is going to be they're going to be real where you're not. That's right. They're going to be concretely, seriously real. And they're not going to give men the time of day nor want a guy. Every damn approaching a tactic you have won't work. Don't matter if you get to know them, they won't want anything to do with you. And these numbers are going to go up. And as these numbers of women doing this grows, hell, that's just going to make TFL grow. That's going to make INCEL grow. And then we got Blue Skies Media now promoting a drug that just happens to have a psychologist from Yale using the words, it's a game changer. And then you got Blue Skies Media talking about how he just laid in one spot, totally quiet, was just laid out like he was passed out, you know. And he was in another dimension. Yeah. And it was so peaceful. And he hates it every time he returns. You know, and this is where it is. Okay, so now what are you saying about the rape culture's the rape culture is coming to me? Come on, answer yourself. What do you mean by that? If I say the rape culture is coming, I'm saying there's going to be a rape culture created as long as people stay over sexualized and more men can't get. Well, yeah, but it's not just feminist okay, it's not just feminist and lesbian behavior. You got to think about a little deeper than that. You have to go deeper than that to understand WGTOW. And there's no way around that. You have to go deeper. To understand WGTOW, you need to understand first off 30 to 40 years of male shaming, male shaming, male shaming. After all, you're a monster, you're a villain, you're a predator, you're a pedophile, you're a rapist. Just because you have a penis between your legs. Then you're going to take mainstream media infiltrating MGTOW and all these stupid guys that come up online promoting pump and dump. Then you got people like When in Doubt promoting mayhem and going out and abusing women. And I'm not talking about raping them. I'm talking about mental games. I'm talking about playing the game, abusing one another. Where did you think this stuff was going to take you? Yes, these women are now walking away from men just like you're walking away from them. The difference is that they're going to really walk away from men where MGTOW has never really walked away from women ever. The only real MGTOWers that ever walked away from women are the men that have been abused and screwed over by women. And the majority of MGTOW is TFL is in denial. And I don't care what you say. Listen to them sitting there bragging how much sex they get. You know how stupid that is? That only proves they're not MGTOW. This is how stupid they are. Then they want to turn around and think they can change the definition to whatever they want it to be. So, if somebody creates something and puts a definition with what they created, some bozo the clown comes along and thinks they can take something somebody else has done and reword it and manipulate it to their want. And that's what you have going on there. Same thing happened with Forever Alone. Took it from some female in the 1800s, reworded it, manipulated it, changed the definition, changed the entire thing to your want, and then tried to say, oh, it's been here since then. No, it hasn't. It's all brand new since you started your manipulation and changing it. Yeah, well, I would give you credit on that because Blue Skies was definitely promoting a drug. He was definitely promoting a drug, a big pharmacy drug onto the manosphere. There's no doubt about that. Is it like the last stage before he disappears? Or is this going to be used as, oh, he went on a rampage and nobody died, but they'll tell you a bunch of people died? And he'll disappear off of YouTube, but his channels stay up like L.A. Rogers. And everybody on the media and everybody will tell you he's dead. And he'll actually be back over in the United Kingdom alive and well. Or will it be he actually ODs himself because he's fallen down the rabbit hole and taken this drug and takes too much and really kills himself? I don't want to say either or on that situation. I'm telling you, this guy came up here, said a lot of truth, and while he was doing it, he promoted a damn big pharma drug that was used on animals that's being pushed by a psychologist out of Yale who wants to say that it's a game changer. So there we are with the wording again. I'm only telling you what you just witnessed in his last couple of videos is not very good. He even talked about he might stop doing videos. See, so the signs are there with the red flags. And this is why you got to keep your eyes open. This is why I told people, do not disregard the red flags. Pay attention to wording. I don't want to say the guy's not TFL because he could be. He could legitimately be a TFL that's all screwed up on this drug and his brain is being fried by the drug he's taking. And that's why I don't leave comments, because this drug is destroying his brain. And he's up here doing videos while he's taking this drug. And just like anything else, mankind's drugs, oh my God, they're very bad for us, okay? And he's sitting here getting high and going into another dimension with this drug. That already tells you he's abused it. His own words told you he abused it. So if you really think about that, that's where that comes from. He could be a legit TFLer, but taking a drug that's fucking up his brain. He may not even be anything. That's why I told you I was never ever going to call him an actor. I've said the chances and signs are there, but that don't mean it's so. Why do you think I will not concretely tell you he is? Because that's wrong. I cannot do that. I have to tell you what I see. What I see going on and what I think, and there's different explanations for what we're seeing. And until you know concretely which one it is, the only thing you can do is pay attention. You can't do more than that. If this guy's a true TFLer and you say he's not, you're the nut job because you've decided something that wasn't true. And if he's not a true TFLer, he's going to tell on himself there too. But I think about the drug aspect of what happened now and what he's promoted in his last couple of videos, and I realized that he had to have overdone this drug big time to be going into another dimension in his mind. This also tells me it's destroying his brain. And if he's taking something that powerful, yeah, he's destroying his brain cells, which means he's not going to act normal. So then that could explain why he don't leave comments, why he don't want to reach out to other people that are going through the same thing, because his brain's already screwed up from this damn drugs. Did you ever stop to think about that? That could actually explain that behavior. That's one of the reasons I brought this up. That's one of the reasons I wanted to do this live stream, is to get that out there. And I can only tell you this. He said some really powerful stuff in the first video he did yesterday. And then the second one, I said some really good stuff in there too, but he told basically he promoted the drug. The video reply I did today, that particular video I played for you on my channel, he said a lot of very factual, truthful things in there. Okay? But he also blamed himself for the female. Okay? That I don't think she was, I think that was him. He thought there was more than there actually was because she has thousands of options. So she just throws on her mask. And I think that's what happened to him there. And he wasn't able to see that. And he's blaming himself for what? Nah. It's our society. Our society is that screwed up. People's mindsets are that screwed up. And there's nothing I can do about this. But I did want to come up here and talk a little bit about these two things. Okay, so you could take this to the bank. As women walk away from men, which women are now starting to do, I don't see how anybody could think it would have been any different. I don't see how you don't understand or how you do not get that you do not have 30 to 40 years of male shaming in the media, a feminist movement, okay, divide and conquer between the genders. You don't have this many years of that and expect the outcome to be any different than what you're seeing. The outcome is exactly what you would expect it to be. And this is why you're seeing women now starting to walk away from men. And you cannot expect it to be any different. And I'm not saying women did not abuse men, because they sure the hell have. But men have also abused women. And when in doubt is proof of that. He gave you another example with his Project Mayhem of how to keep the division going. So, it comes to a point that both sides get tired of each other and they walk away from each other. The problem is men are more thirsty than women because, when it comes to sex, because, women don't have a problem getting sex. They have thousands of guys in line waiting just for that opportunity. They don't have to have a committed relationship with a guy or anything. They got it just like that. So it's so much easier for women to walk away from men. But for men, no. You don't have thousands of choices. And any guy that sits there and says the women are throwing themselves at him is nothing but a fucking complete liar. And if he thinks anybody should believe his lie, he should firmly reach around the backside, grab his head by the back of his hair, and pull his head out of his ass. Because we're not that dumb, and he is that dumb to actually think he could make you believe something like that. And there are guys out here that actually think they can make you believe they get sex anytime they want it. That's a complete lie, and they know it is. Well, I would agree with that last statement. Most women don't care about sex. No, why would they? Anytime they want it, they get it. So it is not something they care about. But yet for men, you know, they can't get. So therefore, they care about it. So therefore, they put on their fake personas. They put on their mask and tell everybody they get laid all the time. They this, they that. And then they come up here and get stupid and continue the mayhem, Project Mayhem, and continue the division between the genders. It's to a point now where women are actually walking away from men. So now we have WGTOW. And the difference, like I told you, between WGTOW and MGTOW is MGTOW, the majority of it is completely fraudulent, fake, liars, and deceivers, or TFL is in denial, running from a name. Okay? And then there's WGTOW. Yep, the women are going to kick your ass because they are going to mean it and they're not going to be fake about walking away from you. And they're really going to walk away. And as they do so, more and more men will become TFL and INCEL. So enjoy your future, guys, because this is where you're headed. And as far as Blue Skies Media, a little disappointed that he came up here and promoted a drug. We got to keep our eyes on him to see which way it's going to go. I can't make an honest call. I can tell you the more I watch him, the more I suspect there's a good chance he's actually a real TFLer whose brains are being liquefied by this drug he's using. But then on the other hand, he could also be a damn good actor, couldn't he? I don't know. I honestly can't tell you. But I can tell you this. Don't forget the red flags. Pay attention to what he's talking about. And keep your eyes open for the red flags. And the pushing the drugs, that's a sad thing. I could agree with Trey down there on anyone that promotes drugs is a shield of Satan and the Illuminati. I could pretty much almost agree with that statement. The question mark is if the guy was real, I mean, the question mark is if this guy is really a TFLer, he's taking big pharma drug that fries his brains. Come on, the guy literally told you laying there like he's in another dimension. No, if he's laying there and his mind thinks he's in another dimension, that shows you the power of that damn drug. That also means that's frying brain cells, doesn't it? That's like his brain in a frying pan. He's frying an egg. So he's losing his damn mind. So I don't know. I don't want to call either way. I just want people to be aware of what's going on. That's it. And to keep their eyes on the red flags. And that's where I have to stand with it, okay? Though I am serious, the more I see him, the more I think there's a chance he could actually be a legit TFL, not an actor or anything. But I will not concretely say that's true. I can't. I don't know him. But I will say the red flags are what the red flags are, and we got to keep our eyes on them. What else are we to do? That's about all we can do, guys. But I'm not going to stay up here. I've got other stuff to get done today. But I want to come up here and get these two topics out. And I'll be back with another live stream. Don't worry. I'm not going nowhere. But for now, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one.